Today we're going to attempt to replace the oil pressure sensor. The gauge inside is showing 0 and I drove 700 miles with it on 0, so I know there's nothing wrong with the oil pressure. It's just the oil pressure sensor is bad. So first we'll start by removing this silly cover. And just pull up on it. Oh, it's cold. Ah. Forward, and that's out of the way. This bushing came out of the cover. So the sensor is located back here. Somewhere. Yeah, it looks like all kinds of fun. Okay, I'm going to show you where this thing is. Here's the alternator. I got it zoomed in because otherwise I can't see it. And you go way into the back there. And if we look right there, that blue and white, that is the plug that goes on the sensor. Okay, there you can see it. This plastic piece kind of pushes out of the way. I might be able to get at it like that without removing anything else. Okay, there you can see it. This plastic piece kind of pushes out of the way. I might be able to get at it like that without removing anything else. Okay, I've removed the brake booster vacuum line. You just wiggle it back and forth. You'll hear some air hissing and then you pull it out. And then I've removed this hose here. What you have to do is you have to pull this clip here over and then it just pulls off. And now I can move this kind of out of the way a little bit so I have more room to get my hand in there. Okay, it turns out I had that little screwdriver, but that didn't work too well. So I took a long screwdriver and I can get some leverage on it and slowly pry it up and down on it. If this thing will focus on it, you can see it's loose now. Now I can grab it with my fingers before it falls down somewhere. Okay, that's just a squeeze plug with your fingers. You can squeeze the little lever in and pull up on it, and now it's unplugged. Okay, next you can see I've put it's a 1/2-inch drive. I'll probably size that down, but that's a 1 1/16 deep well socket. I've got it on the oil sensor. Now I've got to adapt all that and angle something in there to get that out. Okay, once I got the socket on, I put a 1/2-inch drive universal joint in there, a nice long extension. I don't know how many inches this is, pretty long, and then a flex head ratchet. And once I was able to crack it loose, it just spun out with my fingers. So there's the old one. The next thing you want to do, and what I have here is a lag bolt And what you do is you just screw that in there a little bit with your fingers, and then you should be able to pull the old screen out and install the new screen until you feel it pop, because there's a little gasket here. Once you feel it pop in there, then you know it's in there. There's the old screen. Just pull it out with my fingers. It doesn't actually look too bad. I've seen worse where the second part down here is all plugged up, and that's what works for your displacement on demand. So it checks the oil pressure and says, oh, I don't have enough pressure to go into 4-cylinder mode. Okay, I've lubed up the little O-ring there a little bit. Got my lag screw in there, and I'm just gonna gently push that in there. As they say, the proof is in the pudding. Not sure. Oh, I guess I should hook up my vacuum hoses. Okay, let's try that again. I was getting excited. We still have 0 oil pressure with a new sensor in there. Not sure what's next. Okay, I put the code reader on there and it said the switch was high, switch A, and so I cleared the code and now my oil pressure is working. So that's at idle, so that's pretty good.